Chapter 4, Spin the Bottle. Hey there, sexy. A raspy voice draws her back to earth. She turns to see a very drunken guy ogling her with his eyes. I can make tonight the best night of your life. Let's go upstairs. He slurs. Stephanie cringes and jumps off her stool. She looks behind him expecting to at least see Brooke or something. Where are you be? She asks within. What do you say, sexy? The guy asks, closing the distance between them. Stephanie backs away from him. Oh God. Oh God. Why did she have to come to this party? Oh yeah, her best friend threatened her. She becomes frightened. The drunken guy moves even closer before he backs away. She sighs in relief and then notices that he was pulled by someone. I'm sorry about him. The girl that pulled him apologizes. Stephanie nods slightly, not quite at ease. The girl faces the drunk guy that she's trying to hold back. Get your shit together. She yells at him before dragging him along as she walks away. I need to find Brooke, Stephanie decides. She has had enough time with Cole. Stephanie heads out of the kitchen without her drink in hand. In the living room, she scans the crowd but doesn't see Brooke. She heads towards the stairs after groaning, keen on finding Brooke. She finds even more people making out in the corners of the hallway. She tries the first room and immediately closes it after seeing a girl and a guy literally getting down and dirty. She makes her way to the next room and sees the door open ajar. About 15 people were in the room. They're seated in a circle on the floor, some lurking around. She sights Brooke seated beside Cole. She enters and is happy to see that no one notices her. She approaches Brooke and taps her shoulder. Brooke looks up from her position on the floor, grins, and pulls Stephanie down to sit beside her. Yay! You're here. We're just starting, Brooke says. Starting what? Stephanie asks. Spin the bottle. Brooke replies, grinning. Stephanie's eyes widen and she tries to get to her feet. No way, she panics. You're not going anywhere, Steph. Brooke holds her down. Someone drops a bottle in the middle and sits down, and Stephanie keeps trying to get out of Brooke's hold. When she realizes Brooke isn't letting her go anywhere anytime soon, she stops struggling. She looks at the faces of people sitting on the floor around her. They're all faces from school and around. Jason and Christopher are also seated. And Christopher's girl is nowhere in sight. Not surprising. Who knows? You might get to kiss a hot guy, Brooke whispers in Steph's ear. Stephanie glares at her and crosses her free hand. Please, dear bottle, don't point at me at all, she prays in her head. Nobody must notice her. A random guy spins the bottle and the game begins. They've gone for 6 rounds now and Stephanie's fingers are still crossed. Christopher grabs the bottle next and spins it. Stephanie doesn't really pay attention as before. Who would she be kidding? It would never point to her when Christopher Hayes, of all people, spins it. The bottle spins and it feels like everything is in slow motion before it finally stops, facing Stephanie. She has a shocked look on her face as she and Brooke face each other. It can't be happening, can it? She finally turns after some agonizing seconds to lock eyes with Chris, who is already watching her. She feels like running away from this shenanigan. This madness. This stupid game, but staring into Christopher's eyes for the first time, she's compelled to stay and kiss those pink lips already. It's not like this would be her first kiss. She has kissed before, it was a dare in 8th grade, so there's nothing to be scared about. Isn't she supposed to be excited instead? She lets her eyes settle on his pink lips and feels drawn to it. She's not gonna chicken out. Brooke lets go of her hand and urges her, go on. Enough staring, get on with it, guys. Jason yells, clearly impatient. They both move closer to each other and lean forward until their lips finally meet. They kiss each other slowly, their lips moving in sync. Their eyes flutter close as they get lost in the kiss. It's the best kiss Stephanie has ever had, but she shouldn't be surprised. Christopher is a player and he has had a lot of practice, so he'd be good at it. And isn't it supposed to come naturally for someone as hot as he? She feels her heart banging against her ribcage as they kiss. She resists the urge to run her hands through his hair while he holds her by the waist. She doesn't want this beautiful moment to end, but she is the first to pull away as he tries to deepen the kiss. They look into each other's eyes after opening them. Stephanie looks away and removes his hands from her waist, then she sits beside Brooke. Christopher stays frozen staring at her, but Jason makes him sit while shaking his head slightly. Someone else spins the bottle and the game continues. OMG! That was awesome, Stephanie whispers to Brooke. Wow! You, Stephanie Valentine, just kissed Christopher Hayes and said it was awesome? Brooke asks quizzically, not quite believing it. Yeah. I need to go. I'll be back, Stephanie tells her. Okay. Brooke grins. Stephanie rises and finds her way out of the room. She didn't think of where she'll go. She just needed to leave that room. It was becoming too hot for her. Stephanie Valentine just kissed Christopher Hayes, she mumbles to herself as she makes her way to the back of the house. The night breeze embraces her as she steps outside. She sees a few people around. She sits on a vacant chair and leans into it staring at the sky. She touches her lips unconsciously as a smile makes its way to her face. That was the best kiss ever, she concludes to herself. Maybe coming to this party wasn't as bad as she thought it would be. She sits in a more comfortable position and closes her eyes, still smiling. Christopher watched her when she left the room. The jet black-haired, hazel-eyed girl he kissed. He doesn't know her. Does she go to our school? He muses. He doesn't think so. He has never seen her before. She isn't familiar at all. That was the best kiss he has ever had. He's kinda still in a daze. He wanted to keep kissing her. He wished they were alone and not in a room filled with people. He wanted her all to himself. And he'll make sure he gets her. He couldn't even concentrate on the game after that kiss. He kept replaying it in his head. After a few more rounds, they all got tired and stopped playing. Who is she? Chris asks Jason. Who? The girl I kissed, he replies. Jason shrugs, I don't know, dude. I've never seen her before. He's disappointed. You can ask Brooke, the brunette that sat beside her. It seems like they're friends, and I've seen Brooke around school before, Jason tells him. That's better than nothing. All he has to do is find Brooke and ask about the girl. He begins to leave the room but remembers that he doesn't exactly know what this Brooke looks like. Jason, he calls slowly. Jason rolls his eyes, just look out for the brunette hanging it with Cole. You know Cole, right? Yeah. Thanks, man. Whatever, Jason waves him off. Christopher hurries out of the room in search of Brooke, actually Cole. He enters the living room and scans the crowd, hoping to sight Cole or better still, the girl he kissed. He sights none and proceeds to the kitchen. He then sights Cole drinking with a brunette. She must be Brooke. He makes his way to them and greets Cole. They both look tipsy. Can I talk to you for a minute? He asks Brooke. Cole doesn't seem pleased with that question that came out of his mouth. He wraps his hand around Brooke's shoulders and glares at Christopher. Christopher isn't fazed by that. He gets that look from guys sometimes. He's known as a player, and which guy would want to lose his girl to another guy? I just need to ask her something, Christopher explains. Cole looks reluctant, but Brooke tells him, it's okay, Cole. Cole reluctantly releases her and she follows Christopher to the living room. Hi, he says. Brooke gives him a puzzled look. That girl I kissed during Spin the Bottle, is she your friend? He asks. Yes, Brooke replies without thinking. Do you go to the same school as me? He decides to ask. Duh. I do, Brooke exclaims. Does she? Yes. Since ninth grade, she replies monotonously. Maybe they've never shared classes before, Chris ponders. See, I've gotta go, Brooke tells him and walks away before he can protest. He couldn't even find out her name. Fuck! He yells and runs a hand in his brown hair in frustration. He goes upstairs to join Jason. After some minutes, Jason tells him, check out that babe dude. She's been staring at you since you walked in. He looks at the direction Jason glanced at and is sad. A blonde that doesn't attend their school is sizing him up, looking like she wants to eat him up. She smiles flirtatiously at him and he looks away. He must find the mystery girl he kissed on Monday. Chapter 5, Haircut. Stephanie Valentine has been sitting outside for about an hour now. She decides to go in and find Brooke so they can leave. Enough has happened for tonight. She heads back into the house and checks the room where the game was played but can't find Brooke or Cole inside. She sights Chris talking to Jason but quickly leaves before he notices her. She then tries the living room and then the kitchen. And there they are, Cole and Brooke, both drunk. They're sitting at the kitchen island still having more drinks. Stephanie walks over and grabs both drinks from their hands. Hey! Brooke yells. Haven't you guys had enough already? She asks them. You look like SpongeBob, Brooke tells her, reaching out to touch her face. Stephanie swats her hand away. She looks at Cole and finds him staring at Brooke with a stupid smile on his face. I like you, he tells her. I like you too, Brooke replies with that same type of smile on her face. Stephanie facepalms. They both won't probably remember this tomorrow. They need to leave now, but she doesn't want to leave Cole alone and drunk. Albeit people are here. No one will exactly pay attention to him. So she decides to find Luke, Cole's best friend. She doesn't want to, but she has to. Hey, guys. I'll be back in a minute, she says to the pair and goes in search of Luke. Please don't be with Poison Ivy. Please don't be drunk. Please don't be with Poison Ivy. And please don't be drunk. Stephanie finds herself reciting that in her head as if it's a spell. She sights him in the living room on a couch, and guess who is sitting beside him? Of course it's Poison Ivy. Would she even give the guy space? Stephanie groans, but makes her way to them. Hi! She yells a little when she gets to them because the music is a little bit louder here. They face her with a look of confusion on their faces before Poison Ivy looks changes to the one that can kill. Who are you? Ivy rages with her eyes scrutinizing Stephanie. I'm nobody. Forget about me, Stephanie replies in a perpetually tired voice. Then she regards Luke. Can you come with me? Your friend, Cole, is drunk and I don't want to leave him alone, she tells him. Thankfully, Luke doesn't look drunk. Oh. Cole, eh? Luke gets up and tells Ivy that he'll be back, then he follows Stephanie to the kitchen. Dude! Luke shakes his head disapprovingly when he sees Cole. He and Brooke are holding hands. You're wasted, Luke tells him. I am? Cole asks. Brooke giggles for no reason at all. Alcohol at work. Stephanie separates their hands and makes Brooke get off her seat. Let's head home, B, she tells her. Brooke giggles in response. She holds Brooke's left wrist with her right hand and begins to walk them both out of the kitchen. Thanks, Luke yells. She leads Brooke out of the front door and into the cool night. They head towards Brooke's car, away from Jason's party. They reach where Brooke's car is parked and Stephanie checks the pockets of Brooke's jeans, trying to find the key. I'm driving. You can't drive like this, she mumbles to Brooke. Brooke giggles yet again. She gets the keys and Brooke into the passenger seat, then buckles her seatbelt. She shuts the door, goes to the other side of the car, and enters the driver's seat. She then begins to drive them to her house. And throughout the ride, Brooke kept saying gibberish things. Stephanie pulls into her driveway and turns off the engine. She hops out and then helps Brooke out of her car. She holds her by the waist and leads her to the front door. She gets the keys from under one of the flower pots outside. She always leaves it there. She never takes the keys with her. She opens the door and leads Brooke inside. A few minutes and some struggles later, Brooke is sprawled on one side of Stephanie's queen-sized bed. Stephanie gets out of Brooke's dress and gets into a t-shirt and a pair of sweatpants. She lies on the other side of the bed and checks her phone on the nightstand. 1 a.m. She smiles. For the first time in her life, she stayed out that late. She switches off the lamp and stares at the ceiling. Everything that happened tonight replays in her head. She smiles when she remembers the kiss. She'll always remember that kiss, but she guesses Christopher has already forgotten about it. He's a player after all. He must have had better kisses. And again, it was a game. She hopes things remain the same after tonight. She's pretty sure most people have never seen her before. They'd probably think she doesn't go to any of their schools. Thoughts keep running through her mind until she falls asleep. It's 9 a.m. on Saturday and Stephanie and Brooke are still asleep in Steph's room. Brooke turns slightly and her eyes flutter open. She looks around and realizes she isn't in her room. She sits up and immediately regrets it. Ouch, she yells, unable to suppress her groan as her hands find her head. Stephanie wakes up beside her and sits up. She yawns before finally glancing at Brooke's way. My head. Brooke groans again. You got drunk. What did you expect? Stephanie huffs as she gets off the bed. She walks into the bathroom and watches Brooke, who has her head in her hands with her knees propping her elbows. She walks to the sink and stares at herself in the mirror. She lowers her gaze to her lips and remembers how Christopher's lips felt on them. She shakes her head, trying to drive away the thought. She picks up her toothbrush, applies toothpaste, and begins to brush her teeth. After brushing, she cleans her face and hands. She dries her hand before running a hand through her hair to make it more presentable. She exits the bathroom and finds Brooke in the same position. B? I think I should get a haircut, she tells Brooke, touching her long hair. Brooke slowly lifts her head. Why? Stephanie shrugs. I don't know. I guess I'm tired of it being this long. How short do you want it to be? Brooke asks. Shoulder length? She replies more as a question than a statement. Brooke doesn't say anything. She gets back to her old position. Stephanie rolls her eyes before heading to the kitchen to get her aspirin and water. Here, she says, standing in front of Brooke with a glass of water and aspirin in hand. Brooke lifts her head and takes both from her hands, looking gratefully at her. She swallows the pill with water and gulps down the whole cup. Thank you, she tells Stephanie, handing the glass cup back to her. We could go to a hairstylist or a salon later for your haircut, Brooke says. You don't have to come, B. I want to, and besides, I have nothing to do today, Brooke replies. Thanks. So you kissed Chris at the party, huh? Brooke beams. Stephanie turns slowly to face her. Here she is, trying hard not to think about it, and Brooke just had to bring it up. When Brooke sees the look on her face, she stops smiling and touches her chin. Or did I imagine that? No, you didn't, Stephanie answers. She sighs and sits at the edge of the bed. It was the best kiss I've ever had. That's all it was, she says truthfully, then faces Brooke. You know, it wouldn't have happened if you didn't threaten me and make me go to that party, she adds, blaming Brooke. Brooke huffs. You said it was your best kiss, so don't talk like it was a bad thing. I've been avoiding Christopher since 9th grade, so yes, it's a bad thing, she says gruffly. Brooke smirks. I think I spoke to him last night. He came to meet me. Really? Nope. Brooke shakes her head. I'm not sure. I was drunk. I can't remember much. What if he starts asking around for you? Or even asks you to be his girlfriend? Brooke raises her eyebrows suggestively. What? That's preposterous, B. That cannot happen. He's a player, Stephanie sniggers. Players change, you know, Brooke says. I'd love to see change happen to him, and besides, I do not like him or anything. Stephanie scoffs. Enough of this bullshit. Go take a shower, will you? Let me fix something for breakfast, Stephanie says softly and leaves the room to make them breakfast. Chapter 6, Hazel. Christopher remained eagle-eyed for the rest of the night at Jason's party. He didn't want the girl he kissed to slip by right under his watch. He wasn't even interested in partying anymore. He looked around for her friend Brooke later on but didn't see her either. He couldn't believe they've been attending the same school since 9th grade. She's probably the quiet, unpopular type. She's actually pretty, to be honest. So is her friend. He eventually decided to crash and went into Jason's room. What's wrong, man? Jason had asked him when he told him he wanted to sleep. I'm just tired, dude, he had answered, faking a yawn. Jason shrugged. The thing is that Christopher couldn't sleep immediately. When he closed his eyes, he kept remembering how his lips moved in sync with hers. The kiss wasn't even deep, but it seemed to have trapped him. What the hell is this? I've never felt that way when kissing anyone, not even Ivy when they were together, he had thought. And the worst part is that he doesn't know her at all, not even her name. And come to think of it, the kiss didn't get deepened, but it sure was intense. She pulled away before he could deepen it. He tossed and turned on the bed until he finally said fuck that stupid game and drifted off to sleep. The sleep that he dreamt about her, the girl he kissed. His mission is to find her and get her out of his system quickly. That's exactly what he wants to do. Now it's Monday and he's determined to find her. He must find her. That would be his raison d'etre for today. He would find the black-haired, hazel-eyed girl he kissed. He decides to give her his name for her. He decides to come up with a name for her. He can't keep calling her that till he finds out her real name. It's way too long. Hazel. He would call her Hazel. Because of her eyes. Hazel. He whispers to himself as he drives to school. He walks into school after parking his car in the parking lot. As he enters the front doors, he tells himself to keep his eyes wide open in search of Hazel, or at least Brooke, her friend. He finds his way to his locker, still looking at faces cautiously. Hey man. Jason bumps him with a shoulder. Hi. Chris replies. Where's Max? Homeroom. Jason replies. Okay. Chris says as the bell rings. Off I go. Jason says and walks away. Bye. Chris mutters. He makes his way to his first class and enters. He scans all faces present before taking a seat at the back. He then busies himself with Twitter on his phone. Then the teacher walks in and announces the commencement of the class. Just then, Christopher looks up and notices a girl with black long hair seated a little closer to the front. He becomes alert and perks up in his seat. He can't wait for class to be over. Seems he's finally found Hazel. It's too easy, too quick. He didn't expect to find her this quickly, but he's happy he has. Brooke watches as Stephanie comes out of her house and locks the door with her backpack on her shoulders. She watches her as she approaches her car. Goodness. She even looks better than before. Damn. She looks hot even. Her new haircut is perfect for her. Her black hair is no longer as long as it used to be, now shoulder length. If she looks this good now, what if she gets a pixie cut? She should have done this a long time ago. She might have become popular and have guys trailing her. Brooke continues to think, watching her till she opens the door. Good morning, B. She greets her as she hops in. Hey. Brooke replies, taking her new look in. She isn't exactly used to it yet. It makes her more beautiful. What? Stephanie asks when she notices her staring. Is there something on my face? She asks, unconsciously lifting her hands to touch her face. No! Brooke laughs lightly. I'm just getting used to your new look. Oh, you like it, don't you? Stephanie smiles smugly as she buckles her seatbelt. Of course I do. You should have had this haircut a long time ago. It's perfect for you. Brooke tells her truthfully. Thanks. I won't be surprised if you start getting guys' attention, Brooke tells her, raising her eyebrows suggestively. You. Stephanie grimaces. No thank you very much. Brooke just laughs and starts to drive. She wasn't joking when she talked about Stephanie getting some attention from guys. She suddenly grins as she drives, remembering Cole. Hopefully, he'd eventually ask her out on a date. Maybe this year wouldn't be so bad after all. A few minutes later, they're both coming out of the car and heading towards the front doors of the school. They head toward their lockers. Do you think they'll remember? Stephanie asks Brooke. Remember what? She asks as she notices Chris at his locker with Jason, his back to them as they're passing. Look who it is. Brooke nudges Stephanie. Stephanie follows her gaze and sights Chris. She looks away almost immediately and they continue their walk. Do you think they'd remember the game? The kiss? My face? Stephanie asks. Nope. They were all probably drunk, but Chris might remember, Brooke smirks. That one, Stephanie scoffs. He'd have forgotten that night before leaving the party. That is the longest it'd have taken for him to forget. I don't think so, Brooke replies as they reach her locker. She opens her locker and gets all she needs. She shuts the locker as someone says something behind them. Hey Brooke. Cole greets. Brooke grins as she turns to face him. Hi, Cole. How was your night? Cole inquiries, smiling. It was great. Yours? Okay, Cole replies. He finally acknowledges Stephanie. Hi, he tells her. Brooke, introduce me to your friend, Cole says. Brooke stares at him in confusion. But I've introduced you guys before. At the party, Brooke says. You did? I can only remember you introducing me to another of your friend. Stephanie was her name, Cole specifies. Brooke finally understands the situation. She chuckles quietly and looks at Stephanie, who is about to burst into laughter. She is Stephanie, Brooke says, pointing at her. Huh? Cole says bemusedly. I am Stephanie. The one you met at the party, she explains. Cole's eyes widen. You are? Geez. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Cole looks flustered. No probs. She chuckles. But you look different, he comments. Yeah. She got a haircut, Brooke tells him, touching Steph's hair gently. Wow. You look great, Cole grins. Stephanie blushes, thanks. Let's get to class, Brooke. Oh. Steph and I dash. Just go, B. I'll see you later. She cuts her off. You sure? Yeah. Run along now. She laughs lightly, shooing them away. They leave and she finds her way to her locker. Cole and Brooke enter their class together and sit beside each other. So I was wondering, Cole begins. Brooke looks at him. If you'd like to join me for lunch in the cafeteria, sit with us at our table? Cole finishes. I'd love to, but Steph. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. Cole interrupts. But. What is it, Brooke? Brooke inhales, closing her eyes for a few seconds as if trying to calm herself down. She reopens it as she exhales. Luke sits with you, yeah? She asks. Yeah. He replies in a duh tone. That means Ivy would be sitting there too, she says. Poison Ivy, I mean, she says in her head. Yup. I'm sorry, but Ivy and I don't get along. I can't sit at the same table with her. she says, looking at her hands. That's it? Cole chuckles. No problem. I wouldn't want to make you uncomfortable. And besides, I don't like Ivy or Aspen. She kind of infuriates me. I don't know what Luke sees in her. Cole adds, shocking Brooke. Really? Her head snaps her. Yeah, Cole sighs. Finally. I've wanted to say that out loud for a while now. Brooke chuckles, and he joins her. /N, happy Diwali to everyone celebrating.